Coach Sean Lewis. Hey man, the spring is behind us
Yes, sir.
and the fall is in front of us.
Yep.
But in between those two, we got the summer.
That's right.
What's your summer plans?
We got 9 weeks to do great work together. I think it's going to be the most important 9 weeks that we've done as an organization, bringing all these guys collectively together and making cohesive units out of the talent we have assembled here in Boulder.
Yeah, you've now been here 6 months,
Yep.
and you had that spring, and I know a lot of guys have transitioned and new folks are coming in. But what are some of the things you learned about the guys that'll still be here this summer?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is that, the time spent with our quarterback, right, and knowing what he's really good at, where his strengths are, where there's still areas for improvement so that we can do that work together, right? There's a core nucleus of guys who have shown the way that they work, and I think most importantly as well is as a staff, like we talked about before spring, right? How we came together as a staff and the strengths and the weaknesses of the staff and how we're going to work cohesively together as the leaders so that we can guide these young men on and off the field the right way.
Yeah, and that process, particularly staff-wise, continues, as you learn through this summer. Like you said before, who's going to be on the sideline, who's in the booth, how do we put people in the best positions for us to succeed?
Yeah, absolutely, right. And again, that's continue to do the work together, and as guys continue to show their expertise in certain areas of the game and their expertise of the systems and where their eyes are going to be and where we can best tie everything together so that we can accentuate those positives as a staff to put our kids in the best position to be successful, because that's ultimately our job, right? To set them up for success, equip them with the tools so that they can go play and excel in between those white lines every single Saturday when it counts in the fall.
And it counts. You got a
Absolutely.
scoreboard.
That's
you
it.
got a scoreboard.
Correct.
When you look around your office, you are an organized guy. You know where things are. And as we were chatting off camera, for me, that helps me move fast.
Absolutely.
That helps me take advantage of time.
Yeah.
And one of the things you're known for is a fast offense. Desk organization, mental organization, your offensive organization, is that like the linchpin in all of it to move?
I think I learned very early on. Coach Babers helped me with this as a young coach, and all the great coaches that I've been around, the great coaches that we have here on staff, that details matter, right? So anywhere that you can set up your environment, set up your systems, so to speak, right, so that you can have consistent success and that you can work the day so that the day doesn't work you. That's something that I pride myself on, and having that self-discipline to have great attention to detail so that I can be clean, I can be concise, I can be efficient, and I can maximize all the different roles that we have to do here, right, as being a husband, being a father, being a leader and a steward to these young men, to the men of our staff, right, and the women of our organization. Just being orderly, being disciplined, and having great attention to detail, I think helps with all of that.
Yeah, it's amazing when you mention husband and father, because as you come into new roles and new responsibilities, you still have other roles and responsibilities that don't stop.
Yeah, that's right.
And how have you been navigating moving here and inheriting this team, this offense, and getting it ready with being a husband and a father?
Yeah, it's a great blend, and it was really early on before I even made the transition and made the move, right? It was like, I think the first 3 or 4 conversations that Coach and I had was about family and the importance of that as we have this great profession and this great career. I think it doesn't even feel like work, right? To be able to pour into these young men. But, the love that I have for my wife, who's my high school sweetheart, and all the transitions that we've been through together, right? Having her by my side and being her best partner, her best friend, and she's my best friend through this whole thing, has helped with that transition, right? And then the role of all the different titles that I have, there's none that's more important to me than being a father, right? Being a father to my son, being a father to my daughter, and having the ability with Coach to have that be the priority, knowing that the job's still going to get done here in the facility allows me to be the best version of myself in all those phases. So it's a delicate juggling act. There is no balance to it whatsoever because we're obsessed in all these different ways. But having that family, having that rock, and having my core with me no matter where I go, is everything to me.
Man, good stuff. So you said high school sweetheart. Did she witness the growth spurt, or were you always 6'7" when you met her?
I've always been tall, so she know me. Yes, sir.
You talked about what you learned with some of your players, particularly those who will still be on this team this summer and fall, and your staff. But what have you learned about you the past 6 months?
That's a great question. I think my ability to adapt, my ability to be flexible, and my ability to, again, not be rigid. And we've talked a little bit about it and everything, right? There's certain things and certain core beliefs that I have,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of different ways to go about it. And it's been great to learn from coach and learn from other members of the staff of how we can best do this thing, right? And attack it. And it's, in a lot of ways very similar to how I've done it in the past, but in a lot of ways it's very different.
Yeah.
And that's been really cool to learn those new ways. And, again, even though I'm disciplined and orderly and all these certain things, but part of that is being flexible and being able to grow and get outside your comfort zone to find, something new within yourself, which has been fun.
And I'm smiling widely because here's an adaptation of you that I saw and witnessed. One of the first practices or whatever, maybe conditioning we were doing inside, and we were doing our thing. And you and I were passing each other. You was like, "Oh, these damn cameras are in my way." and our job is to create this content, tell these stories, but also not impact winning in a negative way, but in a positive way, so don't be in the way.
Right.
And I have learned how you move, so I can move around you, and you've learned how we move, and I could just even see in the body language, what was once like, what are y'all doing? I'm trying to coach. Now it's like, no, come on, follow me. I got it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we're all a little paranoid as ball coaches, right?
Yeah.
So when you start in this new environment, and again, each environment's different and they're unique. All the different spots that I've been in this journey, there's little things about each stop that have made it very unique and very cool. And the content that we're able to produce, the cameras that are obviously a part of that, was new in the beginning. But again, leaning on the guys who have been around it, they're like, give it 10 to 14 days. You're going to be fine. And it's just going to become a part of, what it is. And
I had to get used to it from a production standpoint. Because when I was with Prime at Jackson State, someone tells you, no, cover everything. And you think they're just being cute when they say that.
Sure.
So I found myself holding back, like, well, no, I'm not going to that meeting. I'm not doing this. And he's like, no, man, cover everything.
Get in there.
Yeah. So it's like, you sure? Like, I don't think anywhere in the world would do this, but that's how he operates. And you and this whole staff that were new to it have truly adapted to it and embraced it.
Yeah, but again, the exposure that we're able to get, that you guys are able to do, and in the professional manner in which it's done, right? We can trust you, and I think that's, again, all that we're doing here is building trust, so that we can go do great things collectively together. Whether that's content, on the field, getting degrees, and helping young men grow and become pros, and all the things that they're going to become.
Man, you gave a good segue there, because ain't this all about trust?
Yeah.
Like the spring, strength and conditioning, learning the plays, the installs, coming back, kind of a reset in the summer. All of it is designed to see who you can trust on Saturdays this fall.
That's it, right? We're going to test these guys the way that they've never been tested, and it's all to establish that trust, right? And so those levels of trust, the deepest level of trust, allow you to achieve the highest level of satisfaction and goals collectively together. We talk about all the time that if you want to go quick, go solo. If you want to go further, go together. And so we all need to, again, have that trust, build that trust over time, so we can go super far in this thing.
So one of the things I have learned from you is the so what, now what philosophy. So I got two questions here. Give me a so what from the spring, and give me a now what for this summer.
I think the biggest thing is, all the transitions and everything that have happened, that, okay, so what? It's happened. And now as we go forward and as people come to campus, okay, we know the work that needs to be done. Let's roll up our sleeves and let's get after it so we can go achieve all the things that we know that we're capable of.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you're a guy who's been a head coach, Kent State helping up there behind you. You know what it's supposed to look like.
Yes, sir.
Your guys that are coming back, how long from day one does it take you to know who came back in shape and who didn't?
Not very long, right? You're going to know the guys who it's important to and what they've been doing, right? And again, it goes not only for conditioning and ball, but for life. Whatever you're doing in the dark is going to be brought to the light. So we're going to get on that line. Coach Mo's going to blow the whistle, and we're going to see who put in real work and who was faking the funk.
Yeah. Now, I got to ask you this, though, because I've seen you guys. If a guy came back in absolute shape, he's still gonna get exposed because y'all standards
standards high. Right. The standards high. I mean, we're not gonna accept average. We're not gonna accept mediocrity. So the standards high.
All right. And I know we're gonna have many conversations across the summer, next 9 weeks and beyond. But let me end it with this, because I want to ask you this 9 weeks from now.
Okay.
What does a successful summer look like to you 9 weeks from now?
One day at a time, doing elite things at an uncommon level. So if we can do that over the course of the next 9 weeks, but be present in each moment, because every day is going to matter, to where mentally we've sharpened our blade so that we're in the best mental, physical, and emotional shape because we've handled each day the right way. Then that gives us a chance to go attack training camp the right way in 9 weeks.
My man, Sean Lewis. Appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
All right.